Madam Secretary, Secretary Connor, thank you for being here today. I'll try and move through these quickly. First of all, as you know, the Owyhee Wildlife Refuge in my district. We appreciate the work of the people who work there and at the BLM, and I understand what they've been through. They're important parts of our community. But I want to get to the issue of the monument. You and I had a phone conversation about this. I know you met with Judge Grasty and Commissioner Runnels as well. And the Malheur County Commission and Judge there have written you expressing their opposition to any monument there. And I just want to reconfirm, there's no effort in your agency, there's no coordination with CEQ or the White House that you're aware of to do a Owyhee Canyons National Monument?
The concept of Owyhee Canyons came from, I think, Keen Footwear. It's been kicking around. It's one of those things people have recommended to us, but we have not held any community meetings. We haven't had any discussions in those communities. People haven't been actively in my office asking about it.
Okay, but is there any coordination with the White House that you're aware of, or with CEQ on, because I would assume they'd have to come to you for...
Not that I'm aware of.
If that does happen, would you be willing to let me know and the committee know?
Yes.
If that process begins?
Yes.
Because as you and I've talked in the past, there's been dark and night from prior administrations that have caused you headaches and people I represent real concerns.
I understand.
So I appreciate that. Second, now that the standoff, the armed standoff is over at the refuge, I do hope the BLM will move rapidly on complying with federal law regarding Steens Mountain and the fencing issue up there on Steens. I think you talked to Judge Grasty about that as well.
I did talk about that with Judge Grasty, and I plan on following up with the BLM.
Perfect, because that under the Cooperative Management Protection Act, which I helped author, that fencing, if it's an issue of doing an EA or an EIS, could cooperatively be done on adjacent private land, and the landowners are open to that to facilitate this compliance with the law. The BLM, I think, was wrong in this case in their initial analysis, and I hope you can help correct that. On another note, you were out there. Thank you for coming out regarding the sage-grouse habitat cooperative collaborative. I'm sure you'll be disappointed to know one of the environmental groups is now sued over that. And this is kind of the frustration that we feel very strongly, as I don't have to tell you, in the West, when the collaboration does come together and then another group sues. And it's really, really frustrating to what we're trying to do out there. And so that's an issue as well. I want to commend the Interior Department for finally getting done the change in the wild and scenic river status on the on Bowman Dam and moving that down. It took far longer than I wanted it to take, but I commend you for finally getting that done. This is important movement forward. As for law enforcement funding and all, because this was a federal facility and because most of the people who were there were not from Harney County, let alone from the state of Oregon, I do hope federal government will figure out a way to help cover some of the local costs, and I know you're looking at that. I don't know if you have anything to add to any of those statements, but.
Again, let me give you some flexibility because these are arbitrary time limits.
And thank you for your comments, and particularly for your advocacy of the people of Harney County, and also for the education we had in my conversation about your work on Steens Mountain. I don't know about the reimbursement and how the process works with the FBI and so on, so that's certainly something that we're happy to have a dialogue on, but I don't know what the rules are.
And I'm with you, but I'd be happy to have that conversation on this and other matters. And I'll be meeting, I think, with Mr. Bezdek later this week on the Klamath Basin. We're out of time to get into that, but look forward to continuing those discussions as well.